Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this lesson we're going to talk about how to work in a global environment. So, the world is getting smaller. As technology increases, businesses can communicate much faster and more efficiently than before. And the possibility of the internet provides all kinds of access to new customers all over the globe. Right? We're going to explore a lot of the different possibilities that the internet will provide for a business trying to do business overseas is how I want to say that. All right. So let's talk about translation services. A business that wants to reach customers all over the globe will need some way to communicate in many different languages. Not every person you do business with is going to be able to speak English. You need to know how to communicate with those people. Now, you don't have to know the language of another country. It's best if you do know that you're going to do business with, let's say, someone in Japan. It's a courtesy to learn a few phrases in that language so that you can communicate at least whenever you first greet them. You can, konnichiwa, you can extend a greeting to them in their language that shows that you've made an effort. But in terms of interpreting, human translators usually fill this role. Now, if you're translating documents, you can use Google Translate. Google Translate is actually pretty good for what it does. So, play around with Google Translate. You're going to do some Google Translate stuff this week when you get into the lesson. It's actually pretty interesting, pretty fun. Currency exchange. Now, the American dollar is probably one of the most widely used currencies throughout the world, but it's not the only one, right? There are many different currencies for many different countries and groups of countries all over the world. All of those currencies have a different value. And that value changes depending on market forces and, basically the state of the world. And those values change in relationship to the value of the US dollar. So this exchange rate, meaning how much US dollar is this exchange or is this other currency worth, will change over time. For example, if you're doing business with a Korean company, with a South Korean company, and you need to exchange from US dollars to Korean won, you're going to have to figure out that exchange rate and see if there's going to be any issues there. There are a lot of services online that will allow you to check the exchange rate. xe.com will allow you to check this really, really easily. Navigation, GPS. Now, this is something that is, you guys have all used this before, probably, especially using a system like Google Maps to look up addresses, see where businesses are in the world. Google Maps is incredibly easy to use. All you have to do is type in the address for the thing that you're looking for, and you can get absolute pretty much down to the meter, accurate navigation directions from anywhere in the world to that point. So this is a really powerful tool that you can use. Communication. So phone calls, emails, text messages, video chats, these all allow businesses to communicate over long distances. Before the internet or the telephone, business was done via, paper and parchment, right? You'd send a carrier pigeon, whatever it is, right? Now we have tons of these services available to us, right? Video chat services are really, really common, okay? Some of you may be even more familiar with video chat services these days than you have been in the past because, as things change in the environment, then we have to start doing more business or learning remotely via the internet. So, as you think about doing business in a global environment, in a global context, think about how the technology around you can allow you to access better forms of communication, better sensitivity for the cultures of other peoples, and more efficient ways of doing business. All right. Thank you for sticking around for this super quick lesson, and I will see you next time.